Hi, CineRecap here. Today I am going to explain an American martial arts film called Boyka Undisputed. Spoilers ahead, watch out and stay tuned. In Kyiv, Ukraine lives an MMA fighter named Yuri Boyka. He's the satisfactory fighter in Europe and has received the identify of Undisputed. One night Boyka is preventing in an illegal healthy held in an underground arena. Because the crowd cheers, he would not allow the opponent get a single hit on him. After a quick one-sided fight, he kicks the opponent in mid-air and knocks him out. The scene modifications to a most safety jail in Russia. The inmates take part in fights for the guards and the wardens. Leisure such suits are reputedly friendly to the outside international, but can get very violent with the proper participants. The deadliest prisoner of all time is a beast of a person named Kashmir. He's so competitive that the guards have to chain his limbs and near his mouth to make certain he won't hurt everybody outdoor the hoop. Kashmir's opponent is half his length and can hardly land a punch on him. He slams the man to the floor, breaking his neck earlier than intending to punch him inside the face. The combat's simplest stops when his face is deformed and included in blood. Kashmir is known for killing each opponent. He fights in opposition to displaying them no mercy. He's more of a monster than a human and has no guilt for killing so many human beings. Not like him, Boyka is a great guy outside of the hoop. He hasn't had an awesome life as he changed into imprisoned for numerous years and is a desired criminal in Russia, but he has been able to put his beyond apart and is trying to be a better individual. He even facilitates the church in Kyiv and is always doing charity work. In the future, a clergyman tells him that he must consider selecting some other profession. The priest has constantly supported Boyka's ardor. As a result, the remark comes off as a shock to the fighter. Boyka replies that his skills is a gift from God and he isn't always inclined to forestall the usage of it. He wants to fight as an expert and no longer in an unlawful environment anymore. Within the afternoon, Boyka is approached through his supervisor, who famous that he can subsequently compete legally in legitimate MMA matches. The preventing event occurring in Budapest has allowed him to participate inside the opposition if he wins a qualifying healthy. Then comes the day of the qualification match on account that it's far one of the most critical fights of Boyka's existence. He is prepared to provide all of it. His opponent is a Russian man named Victor. The in-shape starts off and Boyka lands the primary powerful kick in the first short, while he indicates his defending talents, deflecting each single attack made on him as Victor receives more pissed off. It's miles simpler for Boyka to make an attack. The judges on the side strains are already inspired, so when he knocks Victor out with a knee to his jaw, it confirms his qualification. Anybody thinks the healthy is over. However, Victor surprises them through getting up seconds later. He's knocked down a second time, but he refuses to simply accept defeat by using. Now Boyka is pissed off, so he lands a third punch on Victor's face, knocking him mindless. After the win, the organizers invite Boyka to Budapest to combat within the league for you to open many doorways of opportunities for him. The manager gives Boyka a package of money, asking him to teach tough. Because the following in shape is in weeks, even as leaving, Boyka sees that Victor is in critical condition. He feels guilty for hurting him that terrible and could have by no means completed it if he had given up after the first knockout. Boyka remembers the priest's recommendation and prays for Victor's rapid recovery at night. He wakes as much as a nighttime mare of him killing an opponent in the ring. The very next morning, he is going to the manager and inquires approximately Victor. To his surprise, he is instructed that Victor died last nighttime within the hospital, that they had signed a pre-suit contract, so the blame falls on no person. However, in his heart, Boyka knows that he is the reason of the demise. I imply glaringly upon being asked approximately Victor's circle of relatives. The supervisor offers him a bag that belonged to him. In it, Boyka finds a letter from Victor's spouse and their picture together in studying the letter. He can sense the pain his spouse need to have long gone through when she discovered out about his dying. Right then, Boyka decides to apologize to her and ensure she isn't dealing with any troubles in existence. He is aware of that his crime will now not be forgiven even then, but he would not want to run far away from the course of redemption. Boyka tells the supervisor about his want to go to Russia to fulfill Victor's wife. However, the man is extraordinarily in opposition to the idea. Boyka continues to be a criminal in Russia and might be imprisoned if found by means of the government. He's going to ought to make a faux passport. That is a big risk now that he is so close to being a valid MMA fighter. Boyka is familiar with the effects, however is adamant about his decision. Within the following scene, we're added to Victor's wife Alma, who's at his funeral. After his dying, she is alone in existence and has nobody to turn to on top of that. She and Victor are indebted to a crime boss named Zaurab. He comes to the funeral and suggests Alma be his mistress to pay off her debt. Alma is disgusted via his presence, but she is careful no longer to make him mad. She sincerely replies that she will instead paintings difficult and pay him an installment. Alma owns and lives in a network center. She and Victor constructed it with the cash they borrowed from Zaurab. The region is domestic to many orphans and people who are in want. On arriving in Russia, Boyka goes to meet her, however notices her being taken away in a black automobile via a group of guys. It turns out that she works as a waitress in Zaurab's underground combating membership. He could be very protective of her and treats her like his belongings. Later that day Boyka is going to the fight club and reveals Alma when he attempts speaking to her. Zaurab's humans prevent him and escort him outdoor. Boyka wants to keep away from fighting, hence he courteously asks them what time she will be able to get off work. The gangsters attack him on the query, however Aaron Flip taught a lesson for messing with an expert fighter. Zaurab sees Boyka combat and is impressed by using his abilities. He has been needing an awesome martial artist in his membership and wants to lease Boyka, but the person argues that he is not right here to participate in fights. He without a doubt desires to meet the girls. Zaurab offers to talk to Alma on his behalf, refusing to allow him meet her, but Boyka once more disagrees with him and walks away. After he's out of sight, Zaurab asks his humans to preserve an eye fixed on him the next day. Boyka manages to sneak into the community middle and meet Alma. He offers her Victor's letter and asks her if she is being forced to paintings at the fight club. Alma replies that she would really like to paintings elsewhere, however is sure with the aid of the lifeless. She then reads the letter and asks him if he noticed her husband's closing fight. Boyka comes clean, admitting that he became the last man or woman Victor fought. He tries explaining that the dying become an coincidence, but Alma refuses to listen to her husband's killer. Following the interplay, Boyka is going to Zaurab and concurs to combat for him, however in Flip he's going to need to overlook all of Alma's loss of life. The deal is that Boyka has to win 3 fights against the opponent of Zaurab's choice. The gangster additionally guarantees to hold him secure from the police and authorities when you consider that he is aware of he got into Russia the usage of a fake passport. The following day Alma meets Boyka to tell him she would not want his pity. She desires him to go back domestic, but Boyka insists he's doing this for his very own satisfaction. After that he goes to a local fitness center to teach for the matches, but is bullied by using a man, while the man maintains on poking him. Boyka slams him down with a single kick. Then comes the day of the first fight. Boyka goes towards a neighborhood fighter in an easy healthy. The rival manages to land a few weak kicks, but is demonstrated to be weak in the front of a person as properly as Boyka. He manages to knock him down and is ready to throw the remaining punch, however stops midway. To his relief the opponent accepts defeat, so he does not need to hurt him further. After the fight Alma serves a few liquids. Boyka asks her if she is familiar with a pleasing local health club because the only he goes to proper now doesn't stay up to his requirements. Alma thinks approximately it for a while earlier than inviting him to use the health club in her network center. He trains there for the next few days, and in the long run Alma receives used to his presence. Boyka's subsequent suit is as opposed to one in opposition to a pair of brothers. He is bowled over due to the fact he changed into by no means advised about those rules. Zaurab boasts that it smiles his area and the warring parties have to play by the policies. The healthy starts and Boyka struggles to protect towards each brothers at the same time while he attempts to fight one. The opposite assaults, making it difficult for him to awareness. Nonetheless he manages to push one away and knock the opposite one down in the seconds they take to get better. It smiles an identical match till Boyka is kicked in his already injured lower back. The ache is unbearable till he sees Alma inside the target audience and maintains preventing. After that he kicks both their asses and ratings a double knockout. The gang erupts into cheers as nobody had even though they might win this fit as well tomorrow. Zaurab is going to fulfill Alma and attempts to flirt with her. While she deflects his advances he accuses her of napping with Boyka. He also riles her up, claiming that her husband's loss of life wasn't coincidence, a land that boycott meant to kill him. Alma pretends to not accept as true with him, however the comment bothers her. In the meantime Boyka's manager from Ukraine calls him returned right now because he has a press meeting for the fight in Budapest. Boyka asks him to postpone it considering that he best has one remaining fight to win. Upon reaching his room he reveals Alma looking ahead to him. She urges him to tell the truth about her husband's demise, and Boyka starts telling her about all of the hardships he has faced in life. He exhibits that the primary half of his life was filled with misery and the fit towards Victor changed into his best threat at getting a better life. He gave all of it and won, but Victor's loss of life took away a bigger part of him. He knows that accepting his help is very hard for Alma, but he begs her to permit him do what he has to. At night for the very last suit, Boyka is going in opposition to Igor Zurab's best fighter, who has been mocking Boyka since the day he arrived. Igor is in particular livid at Boyka due to the fact he has a danger to his position in the gang. He's taking all his frustration out and showers him with repeated assaults. He manages to place up a tough combat, making Boyka's decrease return his essential goal, but the path of the combat adjustments when Boyka lands a double mid-air kick on him. Following that, he beats Igor black and blue, making him bleed profusely till he passes out. With this, he wins the entire tournament and Alma's debt is paid. However, Zaurab has already anticipated the outcome and prepared for it. He stops Boyka and famous that he has to fight one last guy for their deal to be over. Boyka handiest has some hours earlier than his meeting in Budapest, which may be very important for his career, but he doesn't need to go away without saving Alma. As a result, he asks the supervisor to wait till the subsequent morning and gets equipped to combat the final champion. The opponent is Kashmir the Beast, who has fought and killed all of his opponents within the Russian jail. He's brought into the arena in chains due to his violent nature. The combat starts off evolved. However, Boyka is already too tired. He tries his first trait. However, his attacks appear to do Kashmir little to no harm because of his physique. Thebest lands several punches on him before kicking him inside the jaw. Boyka falls down because of the effect and has a difficult time status back up seconds earlier than losing the combat. He gathers strength and stands up once more, but is once more slammed to the floor when Kashmir is sort of sure that he's won. Boyka takes him through marvel and pushes him again with a kick. After that, the combat tilts to his aspect. He holds the Beast in an arm lock, breaking his proper arm before kicking him out of the hoop. With this, he subsequently wins the in shape. However, Zaurab remains now not ready to permit cross of Alma. He makes his minion assault Boyka while he tries to run away with the lady. Boyka is on the ground at his lowest when he sees Alma being pulled outside. With renewed motivation and anger, he attacks the guards and kills all of them. At final, he receives his arms on Zaurab and tackles him to the floor. Boyka is shot inside the procedure. However, his pain is overshadowed by using his anger. Eventually, Zaurab is strangled to death. Alma attempts to help Boyka, however he stops her, asking her if he has her forgiveness. Some time later, the police arrive and arrest him. Earlier than being pulled away, he again inquires if she forgives him, but Alma does not supply him a reply. Then Boyka is placed again right into a Russian prison. A month later, Alma involves visit him and tells him that he's forgiven. Boyka is relieved for the first time in months, even though his plan to come to be a professional fighter failed. Within the final scene, we see him combating inside the prison's arena, persevering with to maintain the identity of the undisputed. Subscribe for extra movies, like this, activate notifications and leave a like to assist the channel out. Thanks for watching.